Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Meg Ryan. Tim is taking some much needed time off. He definitely deserves it, doesn't he? And what a great week to spend some time outside, though I know he is not here in the Piedmont Triad, but he's missing out on some really nice weather. Let's take a look at where we have been because, after all, it is spring, and that means we're between two seasons. So some days it feels more like winter, some days it feels a little bit more like summer. And if you take a look at where we've been over the past week, you can definitely see more summer days and a little bit more winter days. Remember, just last weekend we saw highs only in the 50s on Saturdays, 60s on Sunday, and then we're right back to those 80s. And that's going to continue for the next several days. A beautiful day here in the Piedmont Triad. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures made it up to 83 degrees, our morning low of 61. And this is always what I like to keep in mind. Look at our average high, 67. So our morning low was closer to our average high than where we saw. So we are running well above average. Don't get too used to it. We have a couple more days of this warm weather, but then things are going to start to change. Precipitation, unfortunately, we did not get any today, and for the year, we're 2.5 inches below where we should be. Right now in Burlington, look at those flags flying. Yes, it's windy out there, a little breezy, winds out the south at 15 miles per hour. That southerly wind is one of the things that's helping to bring in that warmer air, and temperatures right around 81 degrees right now. But the sun is setting, and so we're starting to cool off a little bit more. We'll see temperatures dive through the 70s, and then we'll be into the 60s just around midnight or so. And then in the morning, looking around 60 degrees or so. Notice we do have a 20% chance of a stray shower. So if you take a look at tomorrow, again, we're going to start off again in the 60s, and we're going to make it up to about 80. So a very similar day for today. However, I do think we're going to see more clouds tomorrow than what we saw today, and that's what's going to keep our temperatures from being a few degrees higher, so it's going to hold back temperatures just a little bit for us for tomorrow. Take a look at high temperatures for tomorrow. These are our forecast high temperatures. We're still looking at low 80s in many areas, 82 Danbury, 80 in High Point, and up in the mountains, even Boone's looking at a high of 72 tomorrow. And again, our average high is 67, and our record high, at least here in Greensboro, is 90 degrees. Here's what's going on. So we have an area of high pressure offshore, and it is helping to pump up that air from the south. We know that southern air has more warmth to it, so that's one of the reasons why we've been feeling so much warmer than what we've been seeing. Now, what's going to happen over the weekend? Saturday, very similar to what we're seeing today, but Sunday, that's when we're going to have that cold front come through, and that's what's going to give us big changes to our weather. That's going to bring us some much needed rain on Sunday. It's also, for next week, really going to drop our temperatures. So let's take a look at our temperature outlook. Look at the dates. This is from April 8th through April 12th, and it looks like this area of warmer air is headed our way. So we are in that chance of above normal temperatures. Now, this does not tell you how much above normal, but it gives you a pretty good indication that we are not done with the warm weather. But of course, this is North Carolina, so I wouldn't count out more cold snaps, but it looks like we're on a trend of seeing these warmer temperatures. So outside right now, mainly dry across the entire state. I was watching some light rain showers out over the mountains earlier this afternoon, but most of those have moved up to the north. They've really kind of died out, so it's pretty dry out there. If you take a look out to our west, that's where you see a line of showers and storms. So this is a holiday weekend, and some of you may be traveling to other areas. So it's always good to see what the weather is like in those areas you may be heading towards. So if you're heading up to the Northeast, New York, Boston, they are looking at some wet weather and a few more clouds. Doesn't look like snow is an issue unless you go into the UP of Michigan. You have to go pretty far north to see issues with snow, but thunderstorms definitely a concern out over Illinois and portions of the Midwest as well. In fact, if we look at our severe storm risk, if you're heading out west, that's where our concerns are, from Dallas up through St. Louis and even approaching the Chicago area, and that's for Friday. Saturday, though, you'll notice, though, just a general thunderstorm risk for areas right around Ohio and down around Mississippi and Louisiana as well. Back here at home, let's take a look at our rain chances. So Friday and Saturday, it does say 20% chance. This does not mean it's going to rain all day. What this means is we have a chance of a few isolated showers. They're not going to be very impactful, but I wanted you to be aware of them because a lot of people are going to be spending some outside time, especially on Friday. A lot of churches do outdoor Stations of the Cross. With the weather being so nice and it being a holiday weekend, you may be playing golf or going for a walk with your family, and the weather is not going to impact that very much. It's going to be comfortable in terms of temperatures, and with the clouds, it's going to feel a little bit more comfortable as well. Sunday, though, that's going to be our big impact day. That's when we're looking at measurable rain thanks to a cold front. And behind that cold front is actually going to be some much cooler temperatures, I should say. In fact, it's interesting to say cooler because we'll be knocked back down to where we should be for this time of the year. And there's a possibility we could see some thunderstorms on Saturday as well. So as we take a look at our rapid refresh model, let's take a look at tomorrow. You can see a few more clouds and just these very isolated rain showers. This is, again, not going to be a washout. Don't alter your plans. Just be aware of it. Don't be surprised if you see something. Coming up on Saturday, pretty much the same thing. So now let's take a look at the European model. This is going to give us a better look at what's going to happen on Sunday. So here it is. You can see this big swath of rain. This is all out ahead of that cold front, and this is that beneficial rain that we need. But notice the timing. This says 12:55 p.m. When the rain gets here is solely dependent on the timing of this front. So we're keeping an eye on it. As of right now, it looks like most of the morning is dry and it's going to be more of an afternoon event. But of course, we're going to keep an eye on this and keep you updated. Stay tuned. Alex Williams will have all your details this weekend. So in terms of rain, over the next couple of days, remember we talked about that 20% chance, not a ton of measurable rain. Now, let's switch it to after the front comes through, and that is when we could see a decent amount of rain. I think this is overdone, so don't pay attention to amounts, just notice the pattern that we're looking at some higher rain totals on Sunday because of the front. So let's do your forecast. Overnight tonight, mostly clear, 60 degrees, so another mild morning. Then for tomorrow, partly sunny and warm, 80 degrees. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see that rain on Sunday behind the front. Here comes those cooler temperatures, meaning mid-60s.